There it is.
Going live.
Okay. I hope this works. Hi, everyone. Let's see. Hey, we got it. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our weekly Wednesday live stream. We do these every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time, and I'm Timothy Von Rueden, better known as vonnart online, and I'm joined by my hubby-to-be, Josh.
Hello.
He'll be acting as our moderator for these studies. So welcome. I hope everyone's having a good day today. I'm pretty excited. I have like another week off, essentially, so I can just keep drawing for Drawtober.
We have a weekend with nothing going on.
Yeah, this is like our first one in 2.5 months, it seems. Yeah, mid-July. Yeah, early July. Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
So hello. If you want to put where you're watching from, Josh will do shout-outs as we do announcements. We're going to start our studies in about 5 minutes. Actually, do you want to get the timer going for that? So in 5 minutes, we're going to start. So if you guys want to get ready, get your pencils, get your paintbrushes, get your styluses, whatever it needs to happen to get ready for it. We're going to be drawing 2 profile shots, a male and a female, and we're going to be starting with the female one, and they're going to be facing each other, so if you want to draw them kind of side to side. Actually, I'm going to give myself like a little template before we begin. There, so I need to draw the heads there.
2 heads.
Done. Actually, there we go. That's my face. Yeah, so if you have any comments or questions during the live stream, it could pertain to art itself. It could be the direction of art, the technique side of art, or the business side, or maybe you just want to talk about entertainment. We've been watching a lot of horror movies because it is, the season, and we can discuss some of that. So whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about it. The only other announcemos I have is Drawtober does begin soon. So if you don't know what that is, it is something that I created about 6 years ago, and now I have 5 other co-hosts? Yes.
Yeah, 5.
And Josh is actually our musician, so he's doing all the music for it. And this is
Maestro?
Our maestro.
Yeah.
So there are 6 prompts over the course of October, and you can do it in any medium. So if you want more information, we have it on Twitter and Instagram. So literally thousands of people do it now. It's kind of crazy and really fun. Last year, I think the first day we had 1,800 submissions, which was crazy. And we have something kind of special to show. We actually have the pins for this year's awards. You can see Drawtober 2022. Ooh. So essentially, I'll make a post about this later today, but if you catch our attention on either Instagram or Twitter for the day, we will highlight you on our feed, and then we will send you an enamel pin, or a metal pin, to kind of let everyone know that you were one of the best.
Also, if you won on Twitter last year, we're getting to that. We do apologize.
Yeah, so by this weekend, they should all be done and shipped out and ready for October. So yeah, if that interests you, if that's something you might want to participate with everyone, that is starting up very, very soon. And you can find more info, like I said, online. We have a Discord below, and that's where you can get the reference images if you are looking for them. We do have it also below our video right under us, but if you want the bigger images, they're on our Discord channel in the stream follow along channel specifically. I don't think I really have any other big things. Nope. Just that I'm excited. I've been working pretty hard every day on Procreate, doing this little short story for Drawtober. I'm doing like a prologue so that the story itself makes more sense. So I'm literally, after today, I'll be done with the prologue. And then I can start working on the actual prompts.
This boy, it was supposed to be an easy Drawtober, just 6.
I know. 6
sketches, all good.
I think once we decided it was going to be witchy, I was like, I can't half-ass it. I have to go full. I have a really bad problem of not being able to just like give 70% of my effort. I don't know. I have this big thing where I have to give like 100% effort on everything. Yes, sir.
Just stirring my tea.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to mention. Oh, during the stream as well, I'm going to be recording clips on the side just to kind of show how easy it is to make a reel or a TikTok nowadays. And I think this is really important if you are an artist trying to make it in today's day and age, because video content is taking over the algorithms. So far, Twitter seems to be the best for static images, but if you want to get ahead on Instagram and obviously TikTok, You got to make reels and video content. So I'm going to show you throughout making these 2 profiles today how you can just record yourself in like really short clips, stitch them together, slap a song behind it, and voila, you have a reels. I was told the best way to work with Instagram and TikTok and a lot of modern social media nowadays is to just record what you're already doing. So don't try to add a bunch of extra nonsense to your daily routine. Try to just do what you were already doing and then just record it. So hopefully that helps.
Anyways, no Felix is here. Hello, Felix.
Hello, Felix.
Oscar's here. Hey, Oscar.
What
we
up,
have
Oscar?
Barbara, Wishy,
Hello,
Real
hello.
Human. I am Nixon. Vigilante's here. Barbara's here. And Jamie's here. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Can we use these images if we want to work them? Yes, you absolutely can. So at the end of the 2 hours, I will kind of show everyone's results. So if you want to post them after you're done in the Discord, that is what we'll be doing today. Okay, reset that timer, Josh.
All right. Yeah, once I click start, I'm going to go stir my tea out there. It's like weirdly clumping because I put some soy milk in, but it's like, do you see that?
Oh, probably it's too hot and too cold, so they're not mixing.
Yeah, so I'm going to go give it a good mix out there. All right, 1 hour.
Okay, so we're going to start with the female profile. Like I said, I'm going to be drawing them side by side, so if you want to do the same. Actually, could you click on that so I can see what I'm drawing?
I will after I press start.
Oh, that is what I'm going to be doing today. And like I said, yeah, if you want to also record yourself, do a little reels from it, so that way you can, get a little extra content for the socials. I think that's how I want to treat these Wednesdays, is not only be study friendly, but also help you guys on your social media campaigns as well, because that's what we have to do as modern artists nowadays. Okay, you guys ready? Everyone ready?
All right. Starting. Everyone, pencils at the ready?
Ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let me see where I'm drawing. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so you can see these are the 2 circles I'll be working with.
Back.
So I'm going to just record myself, and I'm not going to worry too much about the audio, because then I'll just throw a song over it. So I can literally just film. And the way that is the best to film yourself doing videos is try to capture the more, I forgot what my friends called it, but it's like the most appealing parts of the drawing, essentially. And you want to capture people's attention. Oops, let me move that here. And usually that might be things like the eyes, or like doing a squiggle of the hair, or like a really pronounced eyelash, really showcase the parts of the drawing that people would want to see. Now for this drawing, I'm gonna try to block it out a little bit first. I get too not impatient, but I definitely just like detailing too quickly, as some of you may know if you come to my streams a lot. So I'm going to do my best to try to block this out first with some shapes, and then I'll render it from there on out. Then I do have to look down at the drawing from time to time so that I know I'm in proportion.
It's never done this before.
What?
The tea. It's like clumping. It looks like the butterbeer I made.
Oh.
I made vegan butterbeer for us. It was for like one of our Drawtober get-togethers, and it came out so gross. The like liquid separated from the butter part of it, so there's just these like globs in it. It looks so gross. This is kind of doing similar looks right now. Real Human, for both of you, how does it feel to be so great? Oh.
I don't know. I guess I've never considered myself great. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird question to answer. Because I feel like, especially nowadays, you can't accept it too quickly, because then people might see you as like pompous. Also, I have a bad issue with like overanalyzing things. So I'm like,
my gosh.
how? I don't want to be like, how should I answer? Because then that doesn't feel genuine,
It feels good.
I was like, I got this one.
Yeah, I got you. The test is going to be if it tastes good. It tastes fine. So I guess you're right. If it's like cold liquid, it will separate like that sometimes.
I have no idea. That was just my theory.
Oh, okay.
My hypotenuse.
That's so weird. It almost looks like I curdled it, but sorry, this tea is really throwing me off right now. A barber says, question. Now, so I can draw after typing this. I'm incredibly slow when it comes to drawing, so if you're making a reel of my progress, won't be interesting enough.
Okay, hold on. Let me record this one really quick. I'm gonna do kind of the eye area.
Do you need me to?
No, you can talk during it.
Oh, okay.
So something I also do now, if I'm like streaming and recording or doing something where there's a lot of noise happening in the background, I'll re-record my etching sounds, as crazy as that sounds.
What? I didn't know you did that.
Only if I have to.
That's crazy.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so honestly, Barbara, I consider myself not the quickest artist. I know my friends would disagree with me, but I actually don't think I'm that quick of an artist. And I find that I can't make reels as much as a digital artist or someone that's really good at spit painting or doing things much quicker. So just know, if you go a little slower, that's okay if you only post like 1 reels a week. Just make sure you record yourself during the process. And honestly, it's usually a bigger payoff because you have very intricate drawings. So by the time you actually would finish the drawing, the reveal in the video would be really nice. Like when you pull back and it shows the final result. I think that would actually be really cool for people.
Yeah, maybe it's just not doing an update part of it as soon. Like maybe give yourself then like an hour of work and then do another like update or something.
Yeah, try not to have your video be longer than 15 seconds. Actually, weirdly, ideally right now, apparently 7 seconds is like the best.
Oh God.
I know. But in a way though, it's less pressure for us as artists to having to record, because then you really just have to show like the cool parts of the drawing and then the end result essentially.
Desi says, do you find there to be a benefit to drawing the profile of the features without fully blocking them in the face?
No, to be honest, I think the way that I'm drawing, I'm gonna, like, everyone can draw however they see fit today. This isn't like a tutorial one, because if this was a tutorial one, I would definitely be blocking it out and doing it the more academic way. But since this is more of like a freehand study that I'm trying out today, I'm kind of doing it without blocking out the shapes. Now, sometimes it works really well for me. Like right now, it's actually not working great. So I'm gonna have to like keep going back and adjusting. And I always believe that art should be like intuition based. So today I really wanted to just go for it. And yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you just got to know that that's just the flow. What is that? The ebb and flow of things. And I'm really okay with adjusting, and I'm a patient artist, so I can totally erase and then try again. So like, I don't like the way that face is looking, take it completely out. I always definitely believe if you see something wrong with your drawing, try not to just cover up the mistakes with rendering, like actually fix it while you can see the problem. Otherwise, you're doing what my art teacher in college would say, and that you're polishing a turd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that always stuck with me. I'm like, oh, I don't want that to ever be how people see my art.
Polished turds.
Something else, I mean, we can talk about it a little more extensively later, or maybe on a different stream, but something that's come up recently in the art community is AI art is kind of taking over the conversation that I've been following on Twitter a lot, and specifically about how a lot of concept artists are frustrated that they're being pushed out right now, and a lot of artists want this to go to, well, at least in America, they want it to go to the White House to get its banned, to have these AI art softwares be able to take their images from places without the artist's consent. I am very curious of to follow this, but I'm trying not to get too actively engaged myself in it because it is very exhausting and time consuming to engage with it, and especially when I feel like a lot of people are more passionate about it right now. So I'm just kind of watching from afar, and I'm very curious to see what happens. So I'm more curious to see what you guys think of this whole thing. Do you feel like AI art should be open and without regulation, or do you think there should be artist consent? Because like right now in Midjourney, you can't use the words like blood or porn or anything that would be like a banned word. A lot of artists are petitioning so that they can get their names added to the banned word list. What do you guys think about that? Right?
In the meantime, Felix says, I feel like my progress is so unorganized. Like some people have this sketch, line art, color, shadow pipeline that is super clean. I semi-finished paint something straight to color, then decide I don't like it, then repaint, then warp it a bunch, repaint again, and then ta-da.
Honestly, from most of the people that I talk to, and these are, mind you, very professional artists that have like 500,000 followers or more, a lot of us just fake it. I know how terrible that sounds, but like no one's process is that clean every time. So like obviously I'm not showing the erasing part of the head. I probably could have though. I actually don't mind letting people see that like I make mistakes constantly. That's okay. But a lot of artists, they'll just fake it. So the ones that you see that are like posting these really nice, like, okay, now I'm doing the cleanup step and I'll like do one big stroke or whatever they do. Half the time they're just faking it. I know one of my friends, I won't say her name, but she has almost 1 million followers, and what she'll do is she'll paint it essentially first, and then she'll go through her layers and then find where she thinks the more interesting parts of her process were, hide all the other layers, and then just show that one layer and basically just like pretend to paint over it and just do that from start to finish.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So yeah, don't feel intimidated. The standards are so unrealistic that we're setting for younger artists nowadays, or just artists in general, not even just younger artists, just all artists. And I think we should be showing more of the mistakes and stuff. Actually, maybe I'll include that in my reel. Maybe I'll like lightly outline what I did.
There it goes.
There we go. I need to concentrate here though. So if you have any questions, Josh.
Yeah, Jamie says, I've seen a lot of people that post AI art saying it is their work. It is so frustrating.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the camp. I mean, I don't get too heated about the discussion, but I definitely am in the camp of I don't think it's their art. No.
Yeah. It's just new territory, so I think it just where everyone's like dealing with these moral dilemmas that are just these new things we're dealing with now of like, is it right? Is it okay? Just the basics of that even. I feel weird talking when you do this.
No, it's fine.
It's like this built-in thing for me now. Whenever Tim has his phone out looking at a drawing, I'm like...
I mean, that is
Hush.
fair. Normally I'm like, okay, could we just quiet for a second?
The amount of times I've walked in a room, too, as you're like 15 seconds into doing it, and I'll be like, hey, Tim. And then...
like, oh, Josh.
All the times.
I really should just close the door, though. I feel like that's a easy sign of like, hey, I'm trying to record in here.
You need one of those like going live lights. You just turn it on and off every time.
Oh my God. So Jasmine Beth Griffith actually has one of those, so her husband knows when not to come in.
Oh my God.
That was like kind of funny. I don't think we need to ever get that crazy. Oh, also I should mention, because she has a slightly, not like darker complexion, but it's definitely a little more on the darker side for value range. I'm going to build it up slightly. I'm using a 3H pencil now, so I'm just going to build it up slightly so that her skin is going to be a bit darker than the paper texture.
Real Human says, serious question now. Does it make you feel nervous to do live streams? I mean, having the possibility of doing something bad live and people seeing it.
Some days I have bad days where I'm like frustrated that I'm not doing great on the stream, but I think it just comes with the territory. If you are going to be a live stream artist, not every time you get on is going to be amazing and perfect. I mean, I know some artists set the precedent like it should be perfect. Like, I love Kim Jong-gi, but yeah, he definitely sets the precedent that every time he sits down, something perfect comes out. But his style is so limber and like loose that he can get away with things looking a little off proportion. But when you're doing studies like this where it kind of has to look more realistic, I mean, it doesn't have to. I guess I could have done a more stylized version if I wanted, but I think for studies, I try to have the proportions and the anatomy pretty accurate, but then maybe the way I light it or the way I'm building contrast on it can be a little more different. I need a sharper pencil here. So I guess the answer would be some days I feel weird about it, but if you're going to be a streamer, you kind of have to get over that.
Reference the cottage stream.
Yeah,
What's the one that you like? I remember there's one we did that you were like really having a tough time with.
We did an environment one earlier this year, and I just hated it.
Yeah.
I didn't like my execution on it, and to have to sit and basically for 2 hours feel wildly uncomfortable that what you're presenting not only is not your best work, but you know you could do better. Horrible feeling. Like, I can't even try to deny it. Horrible feeling. But I think that's part, like I said, not only part of being a streamer, but also part of being an experienced artist is you have to accept that you're going to make mistakes no matter how experienced you are, how much perceived professionalism you have. I think it's a good, like, humble pill that sometimes we need to swallow. And I definitely will say that the streams keep me grounded because, yeah, every time I come into these, who knows if I'm going to like what even comes out.
Felix says, also, AI already looks really repetitive and is getting old fast. It can create great color and composition, but none of the actual contents ever make sense or feel like conscious decisions.
Yeah, that's what my friend Tyler, he came over last night, and he was saying that that's why he doesn't think it's going to be a big deal and it's going to blow over in like a year. But I think AI is going to train itself, and the programmers are going to train it to get better and better so that the styles become more distinct. Because right now that noisy mashup style is the most popular one. But I think as they're exploring the programming side, they're going to definitely pull from like comic style, and I'm still worried for the day that they get the pencil style right, because right now the pencil one looks egregious, so I'm not too nervous about it. But that's only a matter of time before it changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a computer, so it doesn't have the limits that we do of like you have to learn something over a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You can just take it down pretty quickly.
But I do agree to some extent with you. Was that Felix that said that?
Yeah.
That like I don't even use Midjourney that much. It literally, that first month I was pretty excited as like an inspiration generator. But now I'm like, honestly, I'd rather still find inspiration more from like my own life. And even this whole Drawtober comic strip that I'm working on, a lot of it is from inspiration from things around the house or just outside, and our cat Casper. And I feel like the more personal you can, or the more personal, not only subject matter, but thematics that you put into your work, I think people connect with that more than just a pretty picture, which I think sometimes Midjourney is that to me. It's just a pretty picture. I do think it's amazing for color palettes, though, and like composition, absolutely. But if there's no substance behind it, then it's really just style.
Velveteen says, I like the blooper reels where it's common relatable mistakes like 50 noses or drawing on the wrong layer.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
I feel like that's super relatable too compared to where it's just like everything comes out perfectly.
Although I hate to break the bubble, sometimes those are fake too.
The blooper ones?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're probably... Well, we just watched you do it. You like redrew the thing just to erase it.
I mean, actually, yeah.
Um, Eilert says, how recommended is it to get into TikTok for getting our art out there? I've never visited that app, so I'm not sure how it is like over there.
Just know you don't have to do anything. Like, regardless of what people tell you, or literally, it comes down to what are you comfortable with as an artist and what do you connect with. So, like, some people hate TikTok, but they love YouTube. So, obviously, making TikTok videos, maybe to like promote their YouTube, yeah, but if they're spending a lot of time and energy that could be spent on a platform that they actually enjoy, like YouTube, why are they spending it on TikTok? You know? I do think though, like if you are like neutral towards a lot of these platforms, like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, I would use as many as you can, because what I've seen from experience is when you launch like a Kickstarter or some kind of a crass or mass crowdsourcing project, having more platforms that you're on and can be seen can really help with the numbers to back that project that you're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just asking yourself too, like, why you want to do it. Like, for you, what is the purpose of wanting to get a following?
Yeah.
Is it for, like, you want to actually make this a career, have an online shop, get more orders? Then, yeah. If it's more just, like, for a side hustle, like, you just want to have something where you can sell prints here and there, then it's probably not even worth, like, stressing yourself out about it. And obviously, if it's just for, like, a hobby or relaxation, then there's really no point even.
Mm-hmm.
Desi says AI is a weird line because there is a level of computer thought in any software artists use. Like when realistic paint textures became a thing digitally, I felt like that was cheating.
I still feel weird about it sometimes, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Me and my friends get into this debate all the time. We're like, one of our friends does Procreate drawings, but he specifically uses brushes that make it look like a pencil drawing. And then when he takes it to a convention, he doesn't tell people that it's actually digital. I personally feel bothered by this. I know, like, I shouldn't, because people are free to create whatever they want, and art is all subjective anyways, but I think there's something where it feels misleading. And I'm a big person who judges things on authenticity, and it just feels like you're tricking people. And obviously that just, it doesn't sit super well with me, but that could just be a me thing. How do you feel like if you went to a convention and you saw someone that was selling art that you thought was like oil painted, and then when you asked them about it, you found out it was digital?
I think if they didn't tell me and I found out later, I would feel cheated in a way.
Okay, but if they told you at the
show. Ooh. Oh gosh. Put me in hot water.
Well, just because because since you're not an artist by trade,
yeah.
I wonder like what is the reaction to that?
Because even before like I met you and got into this world, obviously like I think generally you appreciate something that you know was like hand drawn with those tools. Yeah, I think in that case, yeah, if I saw something that I was like, oh my god, that looks like a gorgeous oil painting, and then I realized it was done digitally, I think I would have a weird shift of like feeling towards it. It wouldn't be me being like, oh, this looks bad though, because I think the fact that I initially saw it and really liked it, I think it would just make me like have to assess my thoughts about it, I guess. Because I probably would still buy it.
There's a lot of digital artists that I think have a great style, but it doesn't feel like it's trying to mimic traditional.
Yeah.
One of our good friends, Gawky or Key, I personally think one of the best digital living artists in terms of like color and confidence, but they don't have a style that feels like it's replicating watercolor or oil. It feels digital, but it feels very well done within that medium.
Oh, Felix, who could forget the fish stream?
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Was I on that one or no?
I think so.
Oh, I can't remember it for some reason.
Hated the fish stream.
I probably like put it on my memory. Usually if I can tell Tim's like, you can just tell someone's like in their head, just really like feeling conscious about what they're doing. That's how I felt with Tim in that stream. I was like, oh, you poor baby right now.
Oh, I hated
That
it.
was rough.
I think the worst part is I'll usually acknowledge when I'm not liking it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm good at like getting myself out of a funk quickly, but man, sometimes on a stream,
Oh
I
yeah. I mean, as soon as you get in a funk, yeah, you can't. At least for me, when I'm in a funk, I'm like, I just need to step away for a while and like not be around anyone just to like get myself out of it. You almost have to sit in it for a second and then you get yourself out. But yeah,
I mean,
when
I
you're in a
will
live
say
stream,
when I'm drawing live, I draw differently. Like someone was asking about the live being a live stream artist, and what is weird is I do draw differently on a live stream than I would if I was by myself. Because I'm like drawing at a weird angle and I'm talking and I'm not actively engaging with the piece without like a train of thought being broken. Yeah, I do feel more scattered when I'm doing live stream drawings versus when I'm just, doodling on my own. I thought about doing a stream where I'm not talking and people can just join and like work alongside me if they want or just like watch, but because I'm having to talk all the time, yeah, it does break my concentration. I feel weird
we can Big
with my
Brother style
process.
and just set up cameras around the house.
Literally,
A
one of
live
my old
feed.
roommates wanted to do that.
Oh God, no. Mm-mm.
I was like, I would rather not.
Yeah. That was all in jest. I would not actually. I can't believe someone actually seriously considered that. I mean, we did talk about doing that though sometime where you can just set up while you're like watching something.
Well, yeah, and back then you got to remember there were 7 artists living in one house. I think there's just like a curiosity to that for people of like, what do they just draw all day?
No.
I mean, kind of. It's not as exciting as I think people think. We're not like party animals either. So yeah, it was just a lot of like sitting near each other and just drawing a lot.
I learned, thank you. I guess I should try TikTok and see if I vibe with it first.
Yeah. If you don't like it, just drop it.
Yeah. TikTok kind of seems like a gamble too. Like some things for people just like randomly take off. And you'll see videos on there too where someone gets like 1.5 million likes on it, tons of views, and you go to their actual profile and all their other videos are like under 100 views.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it's very true.
Also, too, I don't think people get like followings a lot either. Like they'll get a huge viral video, but then they don't get followers from it still.
Yeah,
It's-
you really
yeah.
need to have a consistent video base for people to want to follow you after they click that like
It's
initiation video.
yeah, it's a very strange platform.
Actually, I might do a video of me recording the shoulder. Oh, it looks so crisp on the stream. Well, actually, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it looks good. I didn't realize that you have the shoulder to get to.
Just a little bit. Well, and it's funny because every time you see me pull out my phone to record, I might be recording like 20 clips, but I might only use like 4 to 7 of them. I try to I've done enough of them to know I want to give myself enough variety so I can pick and choose what I think fits either the beats of the music best or fits the look of the overall video best. So try not to just capture the moments you think you'll want to share. Capture a few extra B-roll, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I feel like the music's the other part of it that you always will get hang-ups with sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes that takes me longer than the drawing. I hate to even say that, but it really does. Nowadays, though, I just decided just to pick whatever songs I want that I feel have a connection to the piece. But yeah, when it first came out, you were kind of forced to pick like the most popular songs or like weird random ones that could just fit. But now that you can do licensed music on Instagram, you can kind of pick almost any song you want, really. And then or TikTok, I found out you may not be able to find the song when you first post it, but sometimes after you post it with a licensed song on it, it'll just tag the song on it and you won't even get flagged for copyright. Now, that's not true for all of them. I did get flagged twice before, but nothing really happens. They just remove the audio from it and kind of slap on the wrist That's it.
Bing says, pretend the AI doesn't exist. Someone sends an artist a bunch of prompts, who then makes the art and sends it back to the person who sent the prompts. That person enters it into a contest and wins. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what. Yeah.
Wait. What was there a question?
Okay. No. It's like saying, essentially what AI is doing is like you're putting prompts in, it's sending them back to you as a drawing, and then like you feel like you have the rights to it. So imagine that if like that was real life and you sent prompts to a person who made art based off those prompts, sent it back to the person that made the prompts, and then that person enters it.
Maybe I'm like concentrating too hard. That is so confusing.
Oh my God, Timothy.
But basically, there is context to like winning a contest, because AI art in America, there was a contest in, I believe, Colorado, and it won. And it created kind of this uproar, at least on Twitter. Mind you, I'm like an older person, quote unquote, older person on Twitter. I'm a millennial. And the way that I watch Twitter is I don't really engage, like I don't actively comment on things, but it is interesting watching from afar, like what's happening in our community and how people are reacting to it. And let me say, people were reacting very negatively to it. And I know it's Twitter, so obviously it's probably amplified and a little bit embellished, but it was really hard to find any comments that had any sign of support for it. And I found that really interesting.
Well, yeah, and then imagine how much even worse it would be if same thing, but like someone sent prompts in to another artist, commissioned them, let's say.
But when you say prompts, I don't know what that means.
Prompts, like you do I don't get why you're not understanding this. If you send an artist prompts like you do with AI right now, so you sent them like watercolor, fairy, forest, garden, and that artist made a piece based off those prompts, sent the piece back to you then, and then you basically entered it into a contest yourself. And
Gotcha. Okay, now I'm following.
So
yeah, that would feel weird.
Yeah. Which is, it's like same thing what AI is doing in a way. I think that's crazy someone won a contest. Like, imagine you put all this time into a piece and someone who, like, typed a few words in beats you out.
The craziest part is the gallery that awarded the AI piece defended it and said that we're looking for the future of artists and we're embracing this technology, blah, blah, blah. And people were like, are you kidding me? Yeah, they were not happy.
Fang, thanks for translating. You said it fine.
Tim, no, it was just
Tim.
I'm telling you, sometimes when I'm live streaming, I'm just like in a concentrating mode, and it's really hard for me to digest something that sounds probably more complicated than it actually is.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, I just want to mention really quick. So I'm using a 2H pencil right now because it's really easy to create very buttery buildup of values. So if I tried working with like a HB or a 2B right now, it would go so dark and it would be really hard to blend. But what I like about the lighter pencils is you can really kind of cover like the entire drawing without it getting that dark at all. Actually, it'll be like a very minuscule difference of value buildup. And you'll see me kind of work this area for a while, and I'm just slowly building up that value till eventually we get this nice gradation from one tone to the next. So that's what I'll be doing probably for the next 5 minutes.
I'm a little under 30 minutes now.
Oh, okay. Actually, that is good to know. Oh, no, really?
Yeah, we're at 28
Actually,
minutes.
we're okay.
Yeah,
everyone, we're okay.
28
We're fine.
minutes, that's still a lot of time. Until it's not. Barbara says, I do feel cheated when artists make me believe that a piece is made in a certain medium. Using actual pencils or watercolors with brushes on paper is definitely not the same as using a program.
Agreed. I mean, I'm definitely in your camp as well, Barbara, but I do know like people will get really upset if you mention that, because then they say that we're being elitist or we're gatekeeping. And the way that I look at it is, fine. If people want to see it that way, fine. But when I'm at a convention and people ask me, is this done by hand? I'll be like, absolutely. All of it is done by a pencil. I don't use digital for my drawings. And it comes across way more impressive to people. So just know you don't have to worry if that's how you feel as well. people will respond to it when you tell them that it's done with traditional mediums. Not to discredit digital though at all, because like I said earlier, Key I think is one of the best living artists, but she does digital, and I think they have a wonderful, beautiful handling of digital in a way that makes it unique on its own. So I'm not trying to discredit that digital is worse. I think when people try to substitute digital for a traditional look and then kind of mislead people into thinking it was done with that medium, that's when I'm like a little weirded out by it.
Yeah. I think still doing traditional in a world that is moving towards more digital, it's something that...
Well, you would think it would hurt us, but honestly, it actually makes traditional artists stand out more. Actually, at conventions, we've never done as well as we've done this year. I think because everyone is moving more digital and people don't want to take the time to get good at their craft traditionally anymore when you can just type in a prompt and have something that arguably is still pretty and solid at a con without the need to do all this. But I don't think that's true fully, because we're seeing it at cons. People appreciate that things are done, by hand, and there is a meaning behind the pieces. So don't lose hope, artists out there. Don't lose hope.
I am Vumi. Hello, good to see ya.
Hello.
Says it's like a collage from different photos, drawings. Yes, that's how AI kind of looks sometimes. It's the weird, the times I've used it, there'll be weird, colors in places that don't really make sense, though. Or it'll just be weird splashes.
I mean, I can't deny it. There is a lot of beauty with Midjourney. I think because it's interpretable on some level, and I like art that is interpretable. So, yeah, it does pull my, taste strings a lot, because I'm into some of the visuals it'll supply. But you're right. Sometimes it'll be so random it just looks like hot garbage. But sometimes that hot garbage is beautiful, and it's messy, but it's still intrinsically readable. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what happens with AI art over the next few years, but I know right now a lot of artists are very upset, specifically in the concept art world.
Let's see, Desi says, the fire of art being strictly digital is what I worry about. I'm not ready for a futuristic world. I was born in the 1900s.
Don't worry. Like I said, I'll let you guys know when I'm actually starting to see a shift at cons, but right now the shift's actually leaning more in our direction in terms of people liking art that is, I can't even believe we have to use the hashtag human made. Do you know Miles has to put that on his stuff now? Because it's so good. So Miles' art, he's one of my friends, and he is now putting human made on his pieces because a lot of people are confused if it's mid-journeyed or not, because it's so good.
I think that's where it's getting more concerning, if anything.
Right.
That you have to deliberately go out of your way to sometimes prove that it's not.
That's the other weird thing. Oh, literally, I was talking to my old roommate, actually, Ashley Erickson, Cloverkin, on socials, that it's weird that we have to prove that we did the work now. So thankfully, if you are a Twitch streamer, or you are a YouTube artist, or whatever it might be, that you have hours of video content showing that, yes, I drew these, in a horribly weird way, it's now acting as validated proof of concept for when people question you. They can do the research and find out, yes, they are actually doing this by hand.
Yeah, that's bizarre though.
Obviously I had zero intent of that when I started doing video content, but now it's this weird library of validation that I didn't even know I would need. And I hate that for younger artists. I just hate that is a thing.
Vigilante says, where's the furthest you've traveled from home?
Australia. Unless if Belgium is closer. But I think Australia is way farther. Yeah.
That's literally
other side of the world.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Norway would probably be the furthest I went. Yeah, it was Norway. My sister married a Norwegian, so got to go live out there for a month.
Well, here I thought we'd be going probably somewhere for our honeymoon, but actually Josh picked where he wants to go.
Oh, no.
Do you want to let the people know?
Yeah, I kind of feel ashamed of it, but I also am like ecstatic.
No, you got to own it.
We're doing Disney World for our honeymoon, but we have to save a lot of money because Disney is crazy expensive.
I told Josh he gets to pick where he wants to go in the world for our honeymoon, and he picked Disney World.
I grew up going, so I was definitely very privileged to be able to experience it growing up. But it was like one of those places I never got sick of, weirdly. But I think because my parents knew how to maneuver the trip really well. It's always making sure you give yourself like a break day where you just enjoy like not going to park. So it's, yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Well, you know what's crazy is as much as I want to make fun of it, I'm actually like genuinely excited to go.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of friends tell me that there are like the new Star Wars thing. I'm not even a big fan of the new Star Wars, especially not the new Star Wars. And I'm genuinely excited to go to the Star Wars area.
Yeah, the YouTube channel I watch, they even say the same thing that Angela had said was like, if you're not even a fan, you're gonna love this place. It's just got a cool vibe. Yeah, it'll be fun, and we can wear those little pins where you can say you're celebrating your wedding, and I don't know.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
It'll be really fun. We're going for 10 days too, so plenty of time to get stuff in. Let's see. Bing says perhaps categorize it separately from fine art.
AI.
Oh, with AI.
Oh,
yeah.
I do think so. That's a theory that is going to happen for like future contests. They're going to have like a AI generated or AI collaborated category, which I actually do think that's what will be happening as well.
Oh, I could do those ones then. Get a
Yeah,
little extra
Josh,
side cash.
You could win some contests.
Velvet Teen says, I guess it's a matter of having clear rules and expectations in an art contest. Oh, yeah, so yeah. Because otherwise it's like aimbot in a shooting match.
And you know what's crazy is there are some websites that are outlawing AI altogether. Get this, DeviantArt is one of them. And then, so I know this from Twitter. Apparently, what's the furry art site? That one, and
No idea.
they're trying to push for ArtStation to like outlaw it.
Oh.
I'm very curious because if DeviantArt is, and if I don't know if that's setting the trend. I don't know if DeviantArt's like too dead or like too in the past now, but I'd be curious. Especially because a lot of the prompts in AI are they'll end with like trending on ArtStation. So it's like one of the prompts that you input. And I'm curious if ArtStation is aware of that and if they're gonna respond.
Essie says, I don't think digital could ever replace traditional or tangible original. Yeah, I mean, I think having like an actual, because even at conventions, Tim's able to set up like an actual original thing, so it's all the original work, which is something that's nice. I think a lot of people like collecting original drawings too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, collectors are still very prominent in the world, and they don't want prints; they want originals, for the most part.
Felix says, that is sometimes ridiculous though. Sometimes I show really elaborate digital paintings to people and they're like, that's nice, but then you show them a simple study in pencil and they lose their mind.
Yeah, it's very true. I think because there is still the stigma of people thinking if it's digital, it's easy.
Yeah, I would say, because before I met Tim, I was not around any really other artist. There's a couple friends I had that were going to school, but
that was more like fine art though.
Yeah. So I would say like the consensus among people that don't do art who I've talked, like, because art's a weird conversation that still gets brought up in the office jobs even too. But I think people do think like Photoshop kind of just does stuff for you sometimes. So I think there's this feeling of like, which it does, but it's still not like putting the idea on paper, and it's still not like doing the composition of it.
Yeah, I think for digital painters specifically.
Yeah, I think people generally sometimes have this like thinking that it does what AI does essentially, where like puts it down for you, which no, because we have a lot of friends that do digital, and I love their stuff. So Let's see. I'm Fumi says I use 3D to create posts, then draw watercolor them with BG, then I edit them. Some say I cheat, but I just work smart because I can use the pose in different angles.
I mean, everyone has their little tips and tricks for sure. I can't even like comment on it too much because everyone that I know has like their little cheats that we kind of call them. So yeah, I would say that's just yours.
Vigilante says Norway. That's right next to us. Are you in? Would that be Sweden then? Right.
I think so. Or
That's
Denmark?
right next to us. What was that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always get those countries mixed up for location.
We went to Sweden because they lived in. They moved back to the States, but they were in. Oh my God, what was the name of that town? I think it was south of Oslo. Oh my God, what was the name of the city? It was really cool because we got to take a ferry over to Sweden for a day, and it was cute because some people, the ferry going from Norway to Sweden and the little town we were in is like one of those duty-free ferries. So they even have like a grocery store on board that's tax-free. So a lot of people would just, instead of buying groceries at the stores there, because tax rates in Norway were crazy.
Or are they really?
They would literally just, it was cheaper for a lot of people that had bigger families to go on the ferry for a day, grocery shop on the ferry, and then just take it back. Very strange. But it kind of fun, actually. Vigilante says, I've been once, but it was just a quick visit, and I'd love to go again. Yeah, one thing I'm kind of sad about is they lived on the east side of Norway, so we never got to get to the west side, which is apparently where
Wait, don't do hand motions.
Oh,
Sorry. Create shadows.
I'm telling you, whenever Tim pulls the phone out,
Stress levels immediately rise.
But yeah, we didn't go to the west side of Norway, which is where the fjords were. I know I talk with my hands too much. Sorry.
Yeah, you're Italian.
It's built in. Real Human says, "Oh, Disney World honeymoon sounds super sweet." Fumi says, "That's nice. I've never been to Disney." Yeah, Disney, it's so fun. It's really expensive though, and it's definitely one of those things that like you have to. My parents were in a timeshare thing growing up, so that helped a little bit for us going. But I mean, Tim and I are gonna have to save up for this.
Yeah,
because getting a room and the tickets alone is gonna be like a shocking number to you at first. And then you got food, all the other things, travel. It's a trip.
I mean, thankfully I'm a eat to live type of person, so I don't really care too much about food.
I know. Tim and I had this discussion because I'm definitely a live to eat kind of person. I love food. And that's my other part about going to Disney World is I honestly look forward, more than like the rides or any of that, I look forward to the food a lot. And they have a lot of vegan stuff now too, so I'm like, oh yes.
Oh, actually, I forgot to mention this. So this past weekend I was at a big family event. It's called Men's Weekend, where all the uncles, the nephews, and the brother-in-laws come, and I have a huge family. And one night, everyone got kind of tipsy, and they were grilling me about being a vegan. It was a very interesting debate, but one of the things that got brought up near the end and like how we settled it is they just concluded that I eat to live, so we have a fundamental difference of how we view food, and for them, they're not going to stop eating meat because it tastes too good. And I'm like, you know what? We're just going to have to agree to disagree here because there's no way I'm going to convince you that that's more of a moral and ethical issue, and there's no way that you're going to convince me that it's more of a sensory pleasure issue.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm definitely live to eat, but I think being vegan, there's so many flavors you have to work with.
Well, nowadays,
that I think
especially.
When I wasn't vegan, I didn't explore some of the like flavors of vegetables and the way it can cook. And I don't know, there's things I didn't explore as much when I wasn't vegan that I'm like, oh, there's all these new flavors now I can explore. I think tofu, even the way that tofu can like absorb spices in a way that meat never could.
I was thinking, like,
you can actually like really tailor things.
I think in 2022 it's just so easy. Like, I could understand if this is like early 90s or late 80s. Yeah, way different than nowadays. And a lot of my uncles grew up in like the 70s. So yeah, back then you only had a black bean burger maybe.
Granted, those are so good. I love black bean burgers.
Where nowadays you could literally go to a Burger King, or even now literally we went to Panda Express a couple days ago because we saw they had Beyond Chicken there, and we're like, well, we want to support these chains having more plant-based varieties. So
Oh yeah, convenience options for being vegan now are way easier.
way easier.
I think that's why it definitely would have been harder if you were like an on the go kind of person and you were vegan
back then.
back then. Yeah, like even 10 years ago, think about it. It was not where it's at now.
I couldn't even imagine.
But yeah, Disney World, there's even like sit down restaurants that have actual like chef made vegan dishes. So I'm excited. Jonathan. Oh, hey, Jonathan.
Liddell?
Yeah.
Hey, Liddell. How
10
you doing?
days to enjoy. I know, it's going to be so great. I feel like 10 days would be perfect for the trip. I'm already... This is like 3 years down, but I'm itinerarying it.
I was going to say, we're so far away.
Well, I can't do much with the wedding right now. I have a thing made for us to start planning with it, but I'm like, it's still 3 years. We're not like putting details in yet.
No.
But I'm like, Disney trip, I can at least somewhat start planning. Bing says Harry Potter World. Yes, we're gonna make sure we spend a day there.
Oh yeah, at Universal.
Yeah.
Because I personally really like Universal, but I don't remember Disney very well because I went when I was really little.
I think it's the way you do the trip too helps.
Also very true.
Yeah. Let's see, Jamie.
Really quick.
Enjoy. Congrats. Thank you.
If you guys are working on her lips, try to capture the shine that's on her lips. And remember that lips have a lot of wrinkles and creases. So the highlight on her lip is like split into 4 like lines. So try your best to capture that. And if you feel like you covered too much, take an eraser and try using the subtraction method to kind of lift the shine back up. Like that. Okay, you can keep on, sorry.
Okay. We're at like 10 minutes, 30 seconds. So roughly 10 minutes left.
Okay.
Elena says, oh, hey, Elena.
Elena, hello.
What annoys me is AI prompters wanting to argue that AI prompters are making their own art style. Let me start over because I have my little hiccup there. What annoys me is AI prompters wanting to argue that AI prompters are making their own art style, but then put artist names in the prompts to try to make it look by a specific artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's probably what eventually they're going to shut down from happening.
Well,
so you're stuck with like a default.
The way that I look at it, though, is even if Midjourney follows that suit, there's going to be another AI art that doesn't care.
I mean, well, the thing is, too, people are going to find the coding for this and make their own, like...
It's... I don't want to say this,
versions
but
of AI.
It feels like a losing battle a little bit. And I don't think, no matter how many legislations go into law, there will always be a black market, or there will always be a software. Even if, let's say it's not American made, they don't really have copyright laws as strict anywhere else besides America, so they don't care. They're going to let it be free game. So I think rather than trying to fight it, I mean, definitely you can have an opinion on it, but just focus on making good work, art that is, specifically you, and try not to get too wrapped up in the noise.
Essie says, what do you think about people who take pictures of the pose styles or use a posing software and just trace it? I've been seeing more and more digital artists showing that they do that.
So here's my opinion on this, because me and my friends also had to talk about this recently. They see it as a tool. I can understand why that is like the consensus for that, but in my mind, I think you're unintentionally hurting yourself in the long run, though, because if you learn how to do anatomy and proportions on your own without using like a trace and copy method, you become faster eventually. Because like if you ask me to do like a person posing, I could probably do a pretty good job at getting that pose down. Even if it's not 100% accurate, it will still feel, in my opinion, pretty great. And if I'm making like stylistic changes to it, I think it'll still fit it. But I don't want to call it names either, but there are definitely some artists where I can tell if they're going in blind without a reference to work from, they struggle quite a bit. But why does that matter? And that's another conversation we had, is if the end goal is the actual, or the end result is the goal, why does the process matter? So I'm one of the people that I believe the process matters just as much as the destination, or the the journey matters just as much as the destination. So for me, I want to see the artist put in their own little, quirks and faults or things that would be considered off, but it makes it more uniquely them. This is more of a personal preference, and I totally respect if other people see these tools as ways, as like a means to an end. But the way that I look at it is I want to draw something without having to just draw over it. I think maybe because I get bored if I'm just tracing. Even with like this drawing, I could have easily done this digitally and had the photo like underneath, but what am I really learning? Like doing it with a blank background, I'm actively challenging my skill set, my intuition on where to place things. And yet there will be things that I'm sure are a little off proportionally, but I'm learning. And then the next time I do a face, I'll take those learning times that I'm on this one and then apply it to the next. So if you keep doing that over and over and over again, you build up this knowledge that is just strong and sturdy. So that's my opinion, but I don't hate on people that do it. Especially if you're a concept artist or a freelance artist, sometimes you have to take shortcuts to hit those time regimens, sadly.
Let's see. Vigilante says, in Finland, actually... Oh, I forget those are connected. But we are connected to Norway from the north. Yeah, so you have that far north connecting spot. Yeah, I love... Ruben's family lived far north Norway, so we did a trip up there. And it was so magical because it was surrounded by mountains. Their house is just like in this valley by itself with these mountains surrounding it. And then they had a grass roof, which I thought was the cutest thing.
That is really cute.
And it was the 24 hour, like there's daylight all night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So really quick, I know I'm going to fill this in with a darker value. This is a perfect opportunity for a video for Reels. So I'll usually click record first and then start like that. Then I stop recording.
Jonathan says, oh man, I love Norway. Oslo Harbor. Oh yeah, I love... The city of Oslo is really incredible, actually. I love Norway. Oslo Harbor was incredible with the evening sunsets. Yeah, I would love to go back there sometime and actually just like tour. I want to see the fjords and stuff too. That one I never got to see while I was there. Bing says, I eat some vegan meals. Fumi says, I'm close to vegan, but sometimes I eat chicken, nothing else. It's definitely, it took me maybe like 6 months to fully, yeah. Because I started with vegetarian and then...
Don't get us wrong. We're not like hating on anyone that's non-vegan. I don't want to be seen as like that crazy vegan. But I've always believed in like leading by example. So if you really believe in something, just, talk to people sensibly. Don't judge them for their choices because you don't know where they're coming from. So yeah, no one feel like they have to defend themselves in the chat.
Felicia says, I would love to see more vegan options at restaurants. Definitely agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting there, but it's hard when you only have like 1 or 2 options. But it is nice to at least have an option now. Barbara says, I recently found an old souvenir from my very first trip to the USA and Disneyland. Disney dollars and a 2-day passport ticket. Want to guess the entry price? Do you need a year for the hint? Ooh, gosh.
Josh might know.
No, I mean, it's changed so much.
Has it really?
Yeah, I mean, park tickets now are like, I think, $140. And then there's, park hopper and all these other options you have to add to them to... Yeah, I don't know. I might need the year Barbara to at least think about it. It had to be like, I'm guessing under $10 maybe at one time. 20.
What?
They had to be pretty cheap at one time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. What am I thinking? How much time do we have
I'm going
left?
with like $40. We are at just under 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm going to just try to finish off with some of the hair here.
Let's see. I'll let you finish that.
Oh, you're good. I'm just going to record for a while.
Gotcha. XNY says, rather than use a solid line to define the profile of your face, I would recommend putting a soft shaded area instead. And then
For me, or what's happening?
I think to you, and then you should be using cotton wool earbuds to blend the facial features.
Oh no, that's definitely not for me. I definitely respect people that use blending stumps, but I prefer hard lines, to be honest. But if you're going for a more realistic look, yeah, absolutely. I would use blending stumps, or I would definitely shade the background paper texture. But since I'm letting the paper texture be pretty blank to give contrast to her skin tone, I'm just going to keep it like this.
Elena says, I don't really think it is worth my time to be mad about them trying to recreate other artists' work.
No.
But it is still a bit disappointing to know that that is what many want to do with it. I mean, yeah. I think it comes down to convenience. And when you can, like, literally type in someone's name and then it just knows to make it that style. I think people don't think about the, like, consequences of doing that, though.
Well, they definitely will sooner enough. It's becoming huge right now.
All right, I'm going to kind of, like, slow down in comments for a second so we can enjoy this last minute.
Yeah, I'm going to just build up some of the hair going up until the end.
Oh, Jonathan's hopping out. A lot of voiceovers to do for something neat we've just announced. Always a joy to catch you. Have a great afternoon.
You too,
Ooh.
Jonathan.
Looking forward to hearing about that too.
And I'll meet you in a month now.
And yeah, well, less than, right? Are we at the month mark?
Lightbox.
I think it's less than a month now. Yeah. 30 seconds. Hello, Light Lolliot. Good to see ya. Vigilante says when we have the daylight all night, it's called, I'm going to botch this, Yotan Yo, which means nightless nights.
Oh.
Yeah, that was very bizarre for me the first time. 10 seconds?
Nightless nights. You know what? Really quick. Right, I'll reset that. I think I have a sharpen filter on this camera. I'm like, why does it look so crispy on the thing?
I'll say it looks way different than on the paper right now.
Right? I'm just going to turn some things down.
It could
yeah,
be
that's
something
way
with,
softer in person. But you know what? I still like it.
Hmm.
I might just do a little spread. Okay, this is our 5-minute bathroom break. So Josh, you want to put 5 minutes on the clock?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to use the bathroom.
Okay.
And then we're going to start our mail profile. And then could you change the Photoshop file to be the other layer?
Yes, yes.
So it'll be our mail facing left. Okay, I'll be right back. Whew. Good work, good work. Stretch your hand out.
My hand's doing good. It was $42.25 in 1989. That's crazy. Yeah, it's like it's more than 100% increase from that then since then, which is wild. I think for next year the tickets already pricing they went up like 10 or $15 from this year. So it's one of those places where it's just gonna like everything's gonna slowly increase and no one's gonna notice it. Because I was even looking like food and stuff. If you look at the food at Disney over the years, it goes up every year by like 5 or 10 cents. And when you like put that into your overall trip, those little 10-cent differences really add up. Fumi, here in Kuwait, there's much more vegan options that are so yummy. Ugh. Yeah, where we live here in Wisconsin, like if you live in a city in the States, usually you have like a plethora of options to eat at. We only really have like one truly vegan restaurant near us. We don't really have that many really fun options. We do have on the bus, they make vegan milkshakes that are great.
Oh yeah. If you know where to look, I feel like you can find some.
All right, let me use the bathroom myself quick.
Where were you on comments?
I've been kind of jumping a little bit.
Oh no. somewhere around here.
I just read Fumi's. Actually, that one right there. Right there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Light Lollet says, or Lolliet says, have you ever filmed reels, etc. at night or when daylight isn't good? Yes, I do agree though. It's way easier doing it during the day. So if I know I want to specifically record a reels, I'll do it at like this time. It's really nice because I have a window to my left here, and with the shade, it creates this really nice diffused lighting and it's very neutral. But if I opened it, it like definitely bleaches the paper, and then when I'm drawing, it creates shadow. See how my hand creates a shadow? So I do kind of have to find the right time. I would do artificial light, but then I would have to set up my workroom with a bunch of, different artificial lights, and I would rather not do that. So yeah, I do most of them during the day, which can be frustrating in the winter here because the day ends at like 4 or 5. The sun goes down completely. So yeah, I have to like really make sure I do the reels or video content in the mornings. Let's see here. Where was I? XNY1 says, are you using fixative to seal the first layer of lead before increasing the amount of shading? I do not, but I do use a fixative at the end of the drawing. It's a matte fixative. Elena says, hello, I am not a mod, but if you want Josh or Tim to read your question, yes, if you could put at vonnart or schwa, that way we can see it. Thankfully, Josh is moderating, so you can kind of read all the questions, but yes, it does help a lot. Thank you. Oh, Barbara says it was $42. Very close.
I know it was $40. Yeah, I think that's like 110% increase where it's at right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Real human. Yes. I looked at Pinterest. I really wanted a good male profile shot, and when this came up, not only does it have a really good structure in the face, but his hair has this nice parting, and then the jacket creates these nice sharp angles to kind of bring it all together. So you have like soft and flowy in the very top, then you have like kind of blocky but like rounded corners in the face, and then very sharp angles with the jacket. So it's a great reference for artists.
I like his jacket.
Yeah.
Being vegan's hard because like I love the texture of suede, but I cannot buy suede.
Yeah.
Other vegan thing. Because I love the way it like has like a rich texture to it.
Even with fantasy movies and games and stuff, leather is always like a big component of it. So it's hard to like want to draw a lot of fantasy concept art when it's like, well, I have to do like my own version of leather essentially.
Yeah. Because don't you like now you have like Nate wearing vegan leather technically?
Yeah, none of my well, this is a whole side topic, but yeah, I'm doing an illustrated novel right now, and no one eats meat. It's like the concept of eating meat is like eating poison. It would be like eating a poisonous mushroom. Like no one does it. And I wanted to normalize it in a way that it wouldn't be questioned, or it's not like a big propaganda for being a vegan. It's just imagine a world where you couldn't eat meat, and that's kind of the reality I try to live, All right, put an hour on the clock. Is everyone ready for this? I had the head way over here initially on my paper, but I'm going to move it closer. Wait, hold on. Let me get myself my mapping so I can see where I am. Okay, so if I have the paper here, this head will be... Okay, I think that should be good. Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful.
Well, actually, yeah. Even for you. So before I was vegan, I had like...
Could you hold this like right here?
Before I was vegan, I had... Right there?
There, yeah.
I had a couple leather jackets, and I have one suede one I really like, but it's been in my storage for a while now. Do you think...
Beautiful.
It's okay to wear that now?
Oh, yeah.
Still?
So you can still get Goodwill leather stuff, too.
I know that's like a debate, though. Some people say not to do that. Some say they're okay with that. I think it's like you make your own choice, but...
Yeah, it's not like the vegan police is going to come for you.
Yeah.
Although, technically, the vegan police has definitely come for me in the past on Instagram.
Elena says, I wish I could draw, but I have to really need to finish making an exam for Friday, as I need to print one out today to photocopy at work tomorrow.
Oh, no worries.
Yes.
I'd rather you get your actual work done that you need to get done.
Because you get your weekends off, right, Elena? So I feel like you're still probably working over weekends, though, too, getting ready for the next week. I feel like you always have a lot going on with all that. Essie says Portland has some really good vegan options. Yeah, West Coast. Every time we go to the West Coast, we like feast. I never cared about vegan until I moved here. Yeah, we're in Seattle too, and there's, what's that place, Veggie Grill? Oh my gosh. Because it's like vegan junk food, so it's not like great for you, but it's nice to have that once in a while. Light says, I've seen that photo as well, but didn't try for the head tilt and bad at hair. Or I've seen that photo as well, but didn't try for the head tilt and bad at hair. I'm not seeing where your correction's at, sorry.
So the head tilt isn't too bad. He's like leaning, like if you're looking straight forward, it's like a little left. So you probably just foreshorten the neck, or not foreshorten, just shorten the neck. And then his forehead up here will be a little larger in perspective.
Yeah, he's a very bony structure.
So I think if you're starting this drawing, try to capture the prominent shapes first. So like even right now, my drawing's gonna look a little weird for a bit because I'm trying to capture the shapes first, and I'm also trying to capture it at this angle. So don't worry, I feel your struggle, and the first bit of this will be just focusing on getting the shapes right.
Carlos says, long time no see. Hello from Tijuana, Mexico.
Hello.
Hello, Carlos. Welcome. Vincent says, hi, Vaughn. It's 2 a.m. here, but it's lovely to see your stream again. Also, congrats to you and Josh. Saw the news weeks ago, and I'm glad for you.
Hey, thank you.
Oh my gosh, we're getting married. It's really sweet because everyone's been so kind about this. It's like this fun reminder for me every time someone says something. I'm like, oh my God.
It is pretty cool. Oh,
Vigilante says he has beautiful vase structure. Yeah, he has a very like pointed face, I guess. I don't know how to even say it.
Back in art school, we would call this an artist's face because it's so fun to draw all the structures and you push and pull the angles. Where sometimes you would get like a beautiful model for life drawing or even for reference, but sometimes their skin is like so perfect and so smooth and they have such a soft face that it's not that much fun to draw as an artist, because as an artist you want to draw like shapes and block things out more. So yeah, he definitely has more of an artist face.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I have such a soft... My features came out so soft.
No, you have a slightly bony face.
I don't have that bony of a face. It's pretty round.
No, you do not have.
I think you have a bonier face. Because like your jaw is definitely more...
Sadly, I have more of a round face too.
Yeah.
Well, not sadly. It's just not as fun for people to want to draw because it's like softer and... I mean, some people like draw. I shouldn't say that. Not all people like bonier faces, but usually when I would talk to people in college, yeah, the bonier the better. And actually, a lot of the times, the older the better. Like if we would get an old model to come in, if they were like 60 years old and like they looked like they used to be a model, it'd be like super angular. Yeah, their faces were really fun to draw. And then specifically women that were just a little heavier set but had their age just like sink on their face a little bit. There were so many angles and creases to draw, and it was really fun to capture that. And like not even trying to be insulting to her as like her features, but they were just really fun to draw.
I mean, yeah, I'm living in the moment, but I'm kind of actually excited to get older.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Get a couple wrinkles, just look a little bit more mature. Vincent says, will you make a marriage portrait to remember the beautiful moment?
Yeah, we'll probably do on our invitations, or probably save the dates. I'll probably draw the sun and moon that we were dressed as, and then make prints of it so that if people want to help like support the wedding fund, they could have the print of it. So, I mean, I'll probably make it a little more fantastical, like a sun and moon with like a bunch of fun background, decadence, that kind of thing.
So excited.
Mm-hmm.
It's been weird planning that kind of stuff out.
Yeah, right.
Making invites, sending invites, getting all the addresses. It's going to be so much work.
Ignore the phone.
I feel like I've experienced now, though, doing all the shipping stuff. Collecting addresses is no big deal now. Tim's family, too, because Tim's family is like the bulk of who's going to be going. That's like at least, little over 100 people to send invites out to for your family?
170.
Yeah. So they already have like thankfully a thing made that has everyone's info, so that'll make that easier. But woo, it's still gonna be a lot of invites.
I'll definitely have to concentrate a little bit for the next probably 10 minutes.
It's so still outside today.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah. I'm caught up in comments right now, so I'm like digging this outside. It's very still.
I know. I kind of want to go outside. I just want to do something outside when it's so nice out.
It doesn't feel great out there today, though. It's
really?
It's like really super humid out there, but cooler.
Oh.
It's like a weird, like sticky feeling out there today.
I've been debating on whether or not I want to go to Barnes & Noble after the stream to get the next Berserk copy.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you should.
I want to, but I'm like, but I won't even have that much time to read it. But I'm like, oh, but I would make time.
I say you gotta get on your Drawtober. I need to work on the next song tonight.
Yeah, you definitely need. I told Rachel it would be the next 2 days.
Oh, like starting today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll probably try to get it by Friday.
Yeah, because she definitely needs it to start working on the animations.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, for Drawtober, Josh does all the music, and then we have our other friend Rachel Wolfolks on Instagram and Twitter who does the little animations for it. So we try to like have fun with the back end of Drawtober with the prompt separators and the calendars and the teasers and all that fun stuff. So we have to like coordinate working with one another to make the magic happen. Nope.
Not sure if that caught on mic, but
Rabid dog.
Puppies, yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll do that tonight then, actually. I really should get on that.
You might as well.
Vincent says, oh yes, the sun and moon concept was genius. Love the message, and it also resembles you two really well. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was probably the most elaborate outfit I've ever worn in my entire life.
Yeah, would you have ever thought before you met me 4 years ago that you'd get proposed to in a giant moon outfit?
No. Not on the radar, but I loved it.
Okay, I think I have his shapes pretty much done for the outline. I draw a little backwards. I don't block things out as much as like a Proco or some of the more academic artists out there. And mind you, I love Proco, so it's like nothing against him at all. If anything, I'm the one doing things wrong. But I like to outline and kind of test my ability to see proportion. And like I said, it doesn't always work. But actually today it seems like the stream gods have blessed me with something that's not as egregious as the fish.
Oh gosh.
That fish stream will haunt me.
Fish and cottages.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, remember the next environment one though that we did, and it was the studies.
Yeah.
I felt way better with that one.
Yeah. No, that's why I feel like Tim's really good at. He's really having a rough time with the cottage one when we did it, which was like kind of an environment thing, and he was like, "I'm gonna try this one more time," and it worked out.
I think because you have to just accept that, okay, I'm not trained in that area yet. Let's do studies of it first to strengthen that skill set. And yeah, sometimes it's like a bummer to be like, okay, I have to like go back to the beginner mentality of I need to learn how to draw this properly. I mean, that's how I feel with drawing. I'm working on a manga for Drawtober, or like a short story style manga for this like witch story, and it's really challenging me because obviously I don't work digitally, one, and then two, I'm relying almost entirely on line art, not on shading, so that's a challenge in itself.
Spidey Deity says, hello. Hello.
Hello, hello.
I'm a newer follower of yours and find your art to be wonderful. How do you go about being disciplined with your art, making yourself sit down and do the work?
It's so funny that you use the word discipline because recently I watched this motivation video. Every now and then I'll watch them just like, keep me on track when I'm not feeling like working for an hour on my tarot deck. I try to work an hour every day, and there are just some days where I'm like, I just don't want to work on it. So I'll usually put on like a motivation thing in the background. And part of what their whole talk about was self-discipline or discipline in general equals freedom. And I really like that idea and that concept because if you have a level of discipline on yourself, over time you will find that freedom. And it took me, I want to say like 4 or 5 years to find that freedom from my full-time job. I mean, I liked my full-time job, so it was a little different than most people, but still, you need to have the discipline on the days that you don't want to draw. And the whole talk was about how it's actually more important to push yourself when you don't want to do it because that will separate the people that make it and the people that don't, sadly. And one of the things that they mentioned is there's a cycle. So if you understand how dopamine works in your brain, I believe it was dopamine. It's, oh, do I have a Post-it note? Okay. So there's a circle. Can you guys see this? So a lot of the times we think it goes from motivation to action, which leads to reward of like a finished drawing. But the way that this video was talking about and the way that if you learn how dopamine works and how your brain chemicals work, it's actually taking action builds your motivation, which leads to more reward, which then entices you to take that action again. So this is actually the cycle where a lot of people try to find that motivation first to then find the action or to then take action, which will give them a reward. But then when you're left down here, if you're going this way, you're left wanting to find that motivation and that, endless inspiration that you just can't seem to find that day. But in actuality, you just take action, which will lead to your motivation and reward. So I don't know if someone needed to hear that on stream day, but I remember that was a good reminder for myself because, yeah, some days you just don't want to do it. But push yourself.
Fumi says, how can I share the sketch? I'm guessing you're saying where to post it, because you can do it on Discord. If you join the Discord, which there should be a link in the description, and I'll post a link too. There's a channel called Stream Follow Along, and then you can just post, you can use your phone, just take a picture, put it on there. Yeah, I'll post a link to it here too.
Okay, I really got to work on this face if I'm going to get this looking good in the next 10 minutes here.
All right, down to 45 minutes. 15 minutes have come and gone.
Now remember, this is a good chance to like take a step back from your drawing, see if there's anywhere that you feel is definitely not working, and then try to adjust it now before you move any further.
Those birds still too. Is it just me? Doesn't it feel kind of still outside today?
Babe, to be honest, I'm not focusing on that,
I know
actually.
you're drawing, but... Vincent says, I don't want to sound dramatic, but your tips about motivation is what I really need now. I always know I will learn something when I come here.
I mean, that's what I think. Me and Josh were talking about what to do with the streams moving forward. I think we're going to stay in this realm where it's more like doing studies together. It's way less pressure on me every week to like try to think of something new to draw just for a 2-hour live stream because, yeah, drawing something in 2 hours and have it be completely original can be a little taxing, either like on thinking about it or like the prepping for it. Where like today, I literally woke up, found 2 references, asked you guys on the Discord which ones we should do, and then just started drawing them today. So way easier. And I watch a lot of motivation stuff, and I want to share more of that, kind of uplifting thing where it's like I want to help artists that come to the stream not only just do studies together, but help push them if they need help more on like the stability side, on the mental side. And I want to be one of those leaders in the community who has more of a positive outlook, hopefully, and can be someone that can like help share advice and tips, and at least that's my goal. That's what I want to do with these streams, so hopefully we can make that happen.
I feel like you're doing that.
I would hope so. Otherwise, what the hell is this all for?
To enjoy the stillness of the outside.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, okay?
Oh my goodness. Actually, whoever was suggesting the Q-tip and the darker background, I think I'm going to do it with this one because his skin is so fair, and I think especially on his nose where it's really bright, to help contrast that, I'm just going to build up the value around it, and it's like a nice little trick to push certain values forward. All right. Another little tip and piece of advice for me. If you really want your faces to look good, spend a good amount of time on the eyes. If you can make the eyes look good, it will help bring the focus throughout the rest of the drawing and kind of give a sense of not only proportion, but then when you look at it from far away, it's not as distracting if you had like really awful eyes included in your drawing. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time right now trying to create the best eyes I can.
Yeah, I like that first one a lot too.
First what?
The drawing you did. It's like cool
you.
having them next to each other now.
Yeah, I feel like there's way less pressure than when we do the 8 studies. I do think it's good though to build efficiency with your time management, but something like this can be a little more less pressure, and you're able to like focus a bit more if you need it.
Yeah, getting the full hour is probably nice compared to...
This eye though looks so disinterested. His left eye looks a little more like, oh, I'm looking at something, and then his right eye, or our perspective right eye, looks like, ugh, I don't even want to be here. So I'm going to try to capture that mood.
Yeah, it kind of looks droopy.
Right? It's like I just don't want to be here.
Is it actually closed a little bit less than the other eye right now? I can't tell.
It's tough with the angle. It could be either, honestly.
Kunstlich says, don't you sharpen your pencil during sketching? I would have a hard time sketching with a tip like the one you have right now. And then, oh, I see you're using different pencils. I just tuned in, sorry.
No. Honestly, it's funny that you say that. I never have sharp pencils. Ever. If I ever need like a sharp tip, I'll move to my mechanical, but I almost always work with dull pencils. And it drives my friends nuts.
Sharpen like maybe once a week.
Yeah, honestly.
And Tim's drawing all the time, so that's like, a whole week usually without sharpening.
Yeah, I would say that's about right. Well, just because with a flatter tip, see how I can like build these values, where if it was a smaller tip, it would take a little longer because I'm not working with as wide of a surface area when I push down on the paper.
After you sharpen them, do you kind of scribble them down quickly for a second?
Yeah, no.
No, okay. So you actually will work on a piece with the fresh sharp.
Well, what's funny
freshly
is
sharpened one.
I'll never start a brand new drawing with a sharp tip ever.
Oh.
So I'll have like I have so many pencils on reserve. Like if you guys see my pencil case, I have a bunch. And almost all of them are dull. So if I sharpen it, it's for like a specific part of a drawing. But yeah, no, very rarely.
This boy. Vincent says, just like how I love your art critique stream too, you never try to be flattering. You always share contents and values that are realistic and practical.
You know what? That actually means a lot to me because I feel like I definitely try to be that. So to hear that it's actually resonating in that manner means a lot. So thank you for sharing that. Ugh, the pencil got a little crunchy there.
If only you sharpened it.
And just no, there's not one right way to work. I mean, obviously pencils are a thing of its own, but in any medium, every artist has their own little quirks with how they work with the tools that they're given. And that's just like one of my quirks. It's not the right way to work with pencils necessarily, but it's not a wrong way either.
That was sweet, though. I feel like Tim puts a lot of care into what he does, so it's nice to see that people notice that.
Yeah, thank you guys. I know anytime I feel like, streams take up kind of half of my day every Wednesday, every week, and maybe it would be better if I just didn't do them anymore. But then I'll like remember these really nice comments. I'm like, no, I gotta keep going. Because it is like a motivation factor too. Like it helps me stay motivated and feel connected with the art community outside of just my art friends. And honestly, even like I feel like a few of you are building connections now with even Josh, and it's just like a fun little weekly get together now. And now we can do studies together. I think that's what we will start doing moving forward, is just like really have this focused on studies.
You can always tell people are really invested in drawing right now when chat goes a little quiet.
I know. It's so weird. Usually when I'm doing like a normal stream, the chat is like nonstop. But we must have a lot of people working on this drawing.
I mean, this one definitely has way more going on too.
I know I'm like trying to be mindful of the time here. But like this eye is everything. If I can't get this droopy eye right, and I'm sure a lot of you are feeling this way too, then I think the whole drawing kind of falls apart. So I'm going to really try to spend some time with this eye.
Make it look disinterested.
Yeah, right. For real though, that's the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Oscar says, helps us stay motivated, never stop Wednesday streams.
Thank you. Speaking of, this is our last live stream.
Yeah. So, big announcement.
Surprise, we're never coming back. No, I like doing... Actually, legit though, if you guys want to put in the Discord the stream follow along, or I think do I have a stream suggestion channel? I think I do.
Yeah.
It's just stream suggestions. Literally, put what you want to study together, and you might see it next week or like the week after. Could be anything. I would prefer not doing, like hard surface sci-fi, but anything in the fantasy realm or like anatomy, people, plants, flora, fauna. I'm definitely down.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're saying check out the voice chat. Oh yeah, look at you guys.
What?
There's 5 people in the chat and draw right now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Actually, yeah, that's totally...
You guys are drawing together?
Definitely keep doing that. That's fun. I think being able to chat while watching and then sharing
that's actually
ideas in there,
amazing.
too.
So literally, that's how a lot of me and my friends would first like hang out together, because a lot of us were on other sides of the country. We would just start up, at the time it was Skype, and yeah, we would share our screens and then we would just draw together for like an entire night. So it's really cute to see that you guys are doing that right now.
Oh, Ella's here. Actually, yeah, Ella.
What up, Ella?
Loki kind of stole your comment there. Ella says there's a lot of people in voice chat. I think they're all working on it.
Ella's one of our wonderful mods for the Discord, and she also created the emojis. Which, once again, thank you, Ella. I'm actually very excited for Ella's doing one of the Casper ones eventually. Very curious to see those.
Little Casper emojis.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos says, I don't usually use pencils, but I'm trying.
Yeah, this is a good time to experiment. Like, there's no judgment. You have, obviously, just pure support here on the stream. Ask any questions if you're wondering how to work with pencil. I feel like I should be pretty good at answering questions about pencil, you know?
You've done it once or twice.
Someone asked, like, what's graphite actually made of? Or, like, how do you harvest graphite as a mineral? Like, you know what? Never mind. I don't know everything about pencil.
I mean, it might be fun to look into that.
Yeah, actually, legit. If anyone knows, like, a good video on how to watch how pencils are made, I will certainly watch it.
Or it could be one of those things you're watching, you're like, maybe I didn't need to know. Let's see. Oscar, hey Tim, check the voice chat. Yes. Look at you guys.
I love that.
Felix says, when I was doing my computer science degree, I always had no time for art, but these streams helped me make it a habit again. If anything, the streams are like the action step then, because it kind of gets you like...
Oh, in our motivation circle?
Yeah, in the motivation circle.
I mean, for real, that's great to hear too, because I know sometimes when you get in the routine of not making art a part of your daily routine, it's very hard to like want to get back into it. But if it's just something that, you know, you regularly do, and obviously Wednesday will be like one of those times that you can actively work on it and like you have it planned and scheduled. Actually, that was another thing, going back to the motivation thing. If you like plan and schedule out your day or your week or what goals you have, and then like physically write down or make it a note to like, for 1 hour, I have a timer that I keep. So every day for an hour, I work on the tarot card. And there will, like I said, some days I don't want to work on the tarot cards, but I'm like, I can do anything for 1 hour. Just do it. And then usually by the time the hour's end, I'm like super into the drawing. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that I'm actually enjoying this. Not all the time. There are some days where I'm like, yeah, that hour actually sucked, but I'm glad I did it. There's still that like reward of I'm still glad I did it.
Isn't there, what was it? It might have been The Habits of Highly Effective People or whatever that book was. Doesn't it take like, they say like 5 minutes or something to do something until your brain actually like will
actually, I
enjoy
think it
doing
was 15.
Or 15 minutes. Yeah, it was like something where
or maybe it was 5.
Sometimes if you have to like, if you invest in something you don't want to do, there's a point where you actually start like cruising with it.
Oh God, we're halfway done with our time. Oh no.
Yeah, just a little over 30 minutes. Halfway there. I feel like you're at a good point. Like for being
Definitely
30 minutes
decent.
in. Yeah. Alice says, hi, by the way, I'm late, but I'm also having a sort of a bad day. I've had an upset stomach the whole day, so I'm dealing with that.
Oh God.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Ella.
I don't know if you're a fellow IBS person, but I totally get that. There's just days, it's just a little harder than the others. Eilert says, seeing you draw has something incentive about it that makes one want to work alongside.
Yeah. Well, that's because like I genuinely enjoy like drawing around other people. I think it's like a nice communal time, and then you don't feel like it's work then as much, because then you're also like engaging with people. I think that's why I actually genuinely liked college. I feel like I didn't learn a lot in terms of like how to draw necessarily, maybe, but I just enjoyed drawing alongside other people so much that it didn't really matter to me, because if you are kind of like what we were saying before, disciplined enough, you'll get better regardless. You know, the more you do something, you'll get better at it. Um, but yeah, it was just really nice being able to draw around other people for the first time, because in high school I didn't really get to have that as much. So it's like I was able to like find, you know, my crowd.
Light says gesture and anatomy one would be great.
We can definitely do an anatomy one. Is there a specific I don't know how to word this without it sounding weird, anatomy feature you want to focus on? Because I know for some people it'll be like really weird areas, like the back when the arm is out, you know.
Have you ever just like done drew muscular structure? Like, you know, like there's the, in science class, they have the like,
Oh yeah, we had to draw the
mannequins.
anatomy ones.
Yeah, I almost think drawing a muscle structure out would be interesting because it would give you more understanding of it.
I mean, yeah, we could
just
do one
looking
of
at
the
it.
muscle structure streams. I guess I've never really done one of those before.
I feel like that'd almost not even be for like the necessarily drawing aspect of it, but it'd almost give you this like drawing it out would have you understand it better even.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why we were required to do it. It was because then when you draw anatomy, you have a better understanding of how the muscles move underneath the skin. So then if someone's posing, you know what is stretching, because a muscle tendon has I forgot what the official term is, but where it's attaching on both sides, and then where it bends and where it flexes. And like some muscles are able to twist differently. So yeah, that's all really good stuff to know if you're gonna be, especially like an artist that draws people a lot.
Oscar says we've been getting more and more frequently using the voice chat, helping each other out and just having good company while drawing. That's otherwise a quite antisocial activity. That's actually really cool to see you guys doing that.
Yeah, I love that.
And then Oscar says, I made the mistake again of drawing digitally, but I've realized I don't at all know how to approach studies digitally.
Probably similar to traditional. I think when you're doing digital, you can be a little more loose, a little more flexible, because you can adjust. But I would say maybe as an extra challenge, try not to use the liquify tool to help you out, and try to really rely on your sense of proportion to draw whatever it is you're working on.
Fumi says, I just drew him, but he looks nothing like the pic.
Don't worry, I'm still struggling with this eye a little bit too.
Yeah, the eye is tough.
Thankfully, we have plenty of time. So just keep working it. And if it's not looking right, you might have to erase it and start again. We have a Astrid the cat on our bed over there.
Actually, yeah, both cats are in here right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Vesper's there too. Ella says, oh, I have Crohn's disease. But, yeah, fellow stomach issues, people. I think that's probably a little worse than IBS, but yeah, I hope you start feeling better, Ella. Vigilante says, my Monday was terrible, but then a happy customer brought me flowers, and that really made my day.
Oh.
Oh.
Small acts of kindness, I tell you.
Mm-hmm. Oscar says, how do you shade digitally? Tim speaking about studies, maybe we can have a digital drawing study course.
You know what? I could totally do a digital one next week. I've been itching to do a color thing anyway, so... You know what? Let me plan on it, and I'll think of what subject matter I would really like to color. But I'll share it with you guys probably on Monday next week if you want to like color alongside me. But I shade similar, well, actually, no, different than I do traditional because I do larger shading. Yeah, we'll do that next week then.
A little digital pencil one.
I think so. I might start in digital. I don't know. Let me think about it, and then I'll let you guys know what I want to do. But I'll definitely do it digital, whatever it is.
Ella says, I love that shirt, Tim.
Halloween season.
Tim's so cute.
It's
literally
my time of the year.
Has a section of his closet now that's just like these kinds of shirts.
Halloween.
And we have a good little collection going now.
Well, you let a little kid get a bit of money that he can then spend on some Halloween things, he's gonna do so. I mean, obviously Halloween is like my time to shine. I love Halloween, like absolutely adore it. Oh, Casper.
Oh, nice, sweetie.
So Casper loves to sit on my drawings. I'll do my best to have him not sit on it today.
Oh, he's like right below the camera. Oh, Casper, let's not touch buttons, though. Okay.
Gotta be careful. He lays on the keyboard sometimes.
Yeah, there he is. And you can't see him, but he's just laying down right here on the table. Oh, there's his tail.
Oh, there it is.
Hi.
You may hear him purring, but it's a really cute purr.
There you go. So you lay down. I'm like, I can aim the camera to see him, but he's very cute right now. Hello, Casper's tail. It'll make a little appearance here and there. You coming and join us for the stream, Casper?
Hi, baby boy.
Yeah, I really do hope you start feeling better, though. Oh, so sweet. I don't want to worry anyone. We care about you, so we will worry. Casper.
You know, I'm going to make this side of the hair darker. I was going to leave it light, but I'm going to make it darker.
What a little rascal. Gets into trouble, plays it cute, gets away with it.
Yeah, Casper is amazing.
He's a good cat. It was cute last night. We walked past Tim's room because we were in the front, and like two cats were laying on the bed together. They
Which
were
is
like
rare.
head to head, which is the closest I've ever seen them without
I was like forcing it.
Yeah, throwing paws. So
Throwing paws.
throwing paws. That's what they do. They don't get like mean, but they definitely will do like little cat slaps on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then, usually Casper wants to do it, but Astrid will. She gets really mad about that.
Casper, where are you going? Keep it moving, buddy. Thank you.
Ella says, have you planned out everything? Or, sorry. Do you... have you everything planned out and ready for Drawtober? There we go.
Yes and no. Like, I definitely have... Like, I'm almost done with the prologue right now, so I'm working on, like, a short story for it. And it's going to be, like, a graphic novel, kind of a manga style. I don't know what I'm going to do for each chapter necessarily, but the prologue is definitely like a almost like panel style story, and that one's pretty much done. As after today it'll be done. But the rest of the panels, no, I have it like loosely written up what I want to do for the story, but I'm a little nervous because we have New York Comic Con and Lightbox that we have to go to So I'll have to be like working on the road while resharing people, while checking the updates, and then being at a con, and then working probably at nights. So yeah, I'm a little nervous, but I do well under pressure, so we'll see what happens.
Some would say he thrives.
Thrive under pressure. Not wrong, actually.
Yeah, no, that makes me even realize I have to get these songs done like pronto.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll be gone the first 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I think the first 3 prompts I technically need to have done before this all starts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have like a day in between before we have to leave for the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
Get me to record again. Oh, I know this looks slightly off, but I'm gonna do my best to fix it. I need to like add more values for sure, but you gotta be careful when you do that because you can age someone really quickly unintentionally when working with pencils specifically, because you're working with values and contrast only. So every added line can look like a wrinkle even if it's supposed to look like a value. Oof. Like it looks like he has a jaw going on with that shadow there.
Ella, I'm so impressed by you making a comic. I can't wait to see it, but I also don't envy the amount of work you have to do for it. Ella, don't encourage him.
Well, I felt like it was a testing run for me with doing swordplay. And like, would I be able to do this if I really wanted to? I mean, swordplay I still want to do with pencils, but I think this digital draft, and because I've been reading a lot of manga recently, is kind of like my way of showing myself, okay, if I needed to get done something quickly, I would be able to. I just got to put my mind to it, kind of a thing.
It is impressive. But like I said earlier, this was supposed to be a nice Drawtober year. Granted, I feel like you actually are making good pace on it.
Right?
Yeah, so I can't complain too much.
I think if I do each prompt, if I do like really focus on the big piece for each prompt, like an illustration one, I could possibly do the pages in November, and then kind of like stitch it together. But we'll see. I'm kind of just like seeing how my time feels right now, because I still want to enjoy October. You know, it's my favorite month.
I find that to be a common trait among artists, though. As soon as you start to have less on your plate, you create more work and projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop. Seriously. No, that was my one thing with Tim. I was like, you can do this manga project. I just don't want to have to hear about.
Hey, I've been good about that,
you have
right?
been good.
I mean, there have been nights I just pass out randomly, but
Yeah. But you know what? I don't have to hear about it. So
don't have to hear about it.
Perfect. No, I mean, I'll listen, but this one you kind of put on yourself 100%.
Yeah, no, I'll admit that too.
Yeah. Like the tarot, I'll listen to because I think that one is something you just really want to do. Yeah, this Drawtober one.
Well, and some days I'm actually like super into the tarot drawing that I'm doing. But then some days I'm like, oh man, that was a rough hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird because there's so many different styles within it in a way. Because like some of them are more like High Priestess, which is more kind of like, I think, what you enjoy drawing. But then you get suits of armor and a horse.
Yeah.
And like
It's a good challenge for
yeah.
sure. But yeah, I'm definitely not used to it.
I feel like a lot of the sword ones tend to be more, at least the ones with like the page or humans, tend to be more very, I don't know, not floaty, just very solid.
I am enjoying the tarot, but it's definitely very time consuming. And I think because I announced it already, all I get all the time is, when are you going to finish it? When are you going to finish it? So I feel like there is this weird pressure, but I'm trying to like manage it of like one a month. And I just keep telling people one a month. So it's still quite a whiles away, but it's happening.
Hey, Ella asks, how many tarot cards are left now?
Well, it's easier to answer. I'm on the 13th one, I believe, and this one should be done by the end of the week. So actually, if you're a Patreon backer, you'll be able to see the final Two of Pentacles either later this week or on Monday. It just depends on when I do the final touches on it. If you want, I can show you a glimpse of it, though. Can you? It's behind you on the wall, Josh.
Oh, yeah. We're at roughly 14 minutes left.
This one was a little harder for me. I guess you guys were right. The tilt actually did create a little bit of a harder scenario to draw this.
Here he is.
So I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I will show... There he is. So a little bit about the card is like he's supposed to look a little ridiculous because it's the dance of life and juggling and balancing the things in your life. So the whole idea is, even though you look silly doing it, you're still able to juggle no matter how ridiculous you look doing it. And sometimes in life we feel ridiculous juggling all the things we're doing, but it's supposed to be a reminder that you can weather the storm, essentially. Casper.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Right now?
Oop. Keyboard, no. Because you're going to hit buttons, you could end the stream.
Cancel the stream.
Right. He like ends the stream.
He's like, it's time to feed me, actually.
Here, that's not...
Casper, you're creating a horrible shadow.
Tim has only 13 minutes left, my boy.
Hi, baby.
You have to just relax. Yeah, just a little there. You can just lay down right there, okay? Allard says he looks amazing. Ella says it looks awesome.
Thank you, guys. I feel like it just looks a little off right now.
Oh, the tarot. I think it was about the tarot.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, this just feels a little off. But yeah, the tarot card, I actually am having a lot of fun with that one. I feel like the halfway through I was like not enjoying it as much because I was so focused on how kind of droll it looks compared to the other illustrations I've done for my tarot deck. But once I found the fun in it, that's where I can really get going. And I found fun in having it kind of look ridiculous. So that really helped out. Once I embraced just being kind of ridiculous, the whole thing started coming together.
There he goes. Casper's just on my lap now. Keeps him out of the way. No. Can't go on the desk.
Sometimes when my values are looking a little off, I'll try to look at it from a little further and see where maybe it's a little darker than it needs to be. And then I'll squint at the reference drawing, and that helps you simplify the values in your brain quickly so you can kind of get a better glimpse of where you should adjust. Nose has a little bit more of a pinch.
I wish I could like style my hair like that, but I just feel like that's probably so much work. Casper Kitty. Hi. All right, 10 minutes left.
I feel like I'll notice as soon as I'm able to look at it straight on, it might be a proportion issue that I'm seeing. You know what though? Actually, I can make the hair look a little more fun. I like that he has these like dark rows up here, but then the light hitting it at that curve.
Yeah, the angle makes it really weird though. Especially it's the eyes. You can't really necessarily tell which way they're looking.
Well, one eye, if you look at it, it is... Oh, hold on. I forgot this is touchscreen. One eye is actually completely under the under eye if you do like a line all the way across.
Yeah.
So these are a little more difficult because you have to really push your accuracy on the proportions to make it read right. I feel like I'm so close.
Casper? Oh, he's playing with the chords. Casper, no. Do not touch those cables. No. I don't know why he gets so naughty every time we do a stream.
I think he's just not used to, I mean, either of us talking in this room. Because usually when I'm in this room, I'm dead silent.
Yeah.
So he probably thinks we're talking to him, maybe?
I think he's used to us giving him, like, attention the second he walks in a room. So he's like, why aren't you guys paying attention to me right now? Sorry, Casper. It's not always about you.
Our little prince.
Meanwhile, Astrid's so sweet right now. Night. She's just sleeping.
Okay, and just a reminder, as soon as you guys finish with the drawing, if you want to post it in the Discord, and then we'll do a quick look through of what you guys did. I won't be doing a critique, but we'll just kind of give a run through of everyone's results. And then we'll call the stream done today.
Everyone's in that last 10-minute rush right now.
I know, everyone wants to do a good job with this one. Oh, was it his jawline? Wait, I think I may have figured it out.
He's a really big earlobe part, too.
Right, he's got a lot of shapes.
I was watching F-Boy Island with Autumn.
Season 1 or 2?
Season 2. I didn't realize one of the guys in the show, though, his ear, I've never seen an ear like this, but it was like pretty much flat. Here, it was like just flat.
Oh.
Oh, thanks for catching that, Ella.
Oh, I can't believe we didn't even mention this. We're watching the new Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god, yeah, actually.
And I was a little suspicious after the first episode. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. But then we just watched the third episode yesterday, and I'm on board. I am like totally there. I'm in for the ride. I love the Gandalf depiction in this.
We're assuming it's Gandalf.
I'm assuming it's
Gandalf.
Gandalf.
I'm thinking it is, based on the lore of the time. That's kind of when wizards showed up.
I love a lot of the set designs. They are stunning. There's one room with like a room of scrolls, and don't worry, we won't spoil anything, but this room alone must have taken so much time and energy. I feel like I appreciate all the effort that was spent on this just single room. It's so good.
Surprisingly, it was better than I was expecting it to be, especially after seeing some of the thoughts and opinions on it. But yeah, I think that actually having practical, like the orcs even having actual prosthetics.
It's such good VFX or special effects makeup. It's so good.
Yeah, I think just having actual sets especially too.
But don't get me wrong, there are still some times where like it's pretty cheesy. I'm like, oh, they definitely did not need to put this little like thing in. But maybe it was for like kids. I don't know. But there are some story beats where I'm like,
yeah,
we could have passed this.
It's not perfect by far, but it's actually pretty good. I wouldn't even say it's okay. I would say it's like pretty good. So not great, but not just okay. And the story is fun enough that it keeps you don't know where it's going, so I think that makes it fun too.
Yes, as of right now, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I kind of like that feeling of wondering where it's going to go next. All right, just under 5 minutes.
Whew, I fixed it. It was this side of the face. His cheek was too far forward and was throwing off the proportions of everything.
Oh, actually, yeah, Tim.
It's funny. I feel like sometimes you have to be an investigator and looking around your drawing and be like, what? Something's off. What is it? Whew. Okay, now I like the drawing.
It's weird though, because it's like pupil or whatever. His eye. What's that called? The iris, whatever.
The color or the black part?
Both, I guess.
The iris is the color part. Pupil is the black part.
Okay, it looks bigger on the eye further away than the one closer.
Oh yeah, because of the way that it's cut from the eyelid.
Ella says that's what I've heard too. That after a few episodes, it's getting better. Yeah, I would say episode 3 is where. Although I liked episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2 was fine.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like, for sure mid, and then the new episode came out, and I was like, okay, there's still some cheese in it, but I'm overall really liking it.
Without spoiling, the second episode, there's like the mountain part.
Yes.
Yeah, the building there is really cool.
And then I'll say the thing I really like about what they're doing with the story as compared to Game of Thrones right now is there are actual consequences where characters that you think will be like longer playing roles die because of the decisions they make. And it's like I don't know if it just catches me off guard because I'm so used to modern TV and films nowadays where main characters can kind of do whatever they want and be like, all right, well, here's 5 bad guys. Here's their time to like show off how cool they are. But in this show, something like that happens, and immediately there's a consequence to it, and it actually does more damage probably to him than if he didn't fight them at all. And I'm like,
yeah.
Wow, look at this show having like realistic standards. Not all the time. It's a little inconsistent, but for the most part, I would say it's pretty great at doing that.
Well, yeah, it's like nice having a main character that's not doesn't have faults or doesn't make bad decisions or decision that could end up harming someone else. Like, yeah.
And I like that the main elf girl, what's her name?
Galadriel.
I didn't really care for her the first episode, and even the second I was like, eh. But once I kind of figured out that she's supposed to be a little unlikable, now I get it. I'm like, I'm on board because she is kind of I can't say the word, but you know, the witch of the season.
Yeah.
And she knows what's going to happen, so she doesn't have time to be sympathetic towards like other creatures or the politics of the area that she's currently in because she doesn't care. She needs to like get this word out. So I kind of love that that's how they're playing her as, yeah, she might be this elf with all this knowledge, but she does not have time.
Well, the irony is she's the one, she honestly does probably care the most because she had a way to get out of it completely and like just take herself out of this situation, but
she decided she wanted to help.
Yeah. Vigilante says we are supposed to watch it too. I'm scared I won't like it. I was very scared because I grew up watching Lord of the Rings. I read the books.
Reading them, yeah.
I was scared too, but go into it not thinking it's Lord of the Rings. It's Silmarillion kind of era, so it's a way different period of time.
Isn't it right after the Silmarillion?
Yes. Well, no, it's like taking parts from Silmarillion.
Oh.
So I'm curious. Yeah, it's not like verbatim, but it's.
See, I didn't read the book, so I went in with like zero expectation. Maybe that's why I'm enjoying it more because I didn't have kind of this grandiose expectation. Where I know a lot of people are putting like this crazy expectation on it, which I think maybe you were doing at first, but now you're like, okay, I get what they're doing here, and I'm here for it now.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Ella says that, yeah, I wish we had more of that. There's too much plot armor in films and shows lately. It lowers the tension a lot because you know nothing wrong will ever happen to the main characters.
Drives me nuts. That's why I don't want to spoil anything about Game of Thrones right now, but it's like, you know, certain characters they're going to be fine. And they'll be like, oh no, how will he get out of this one? I'm like, because we know from the other seasons that he won't die here.
3, 2, 1.
But anyways. Okay. Woo, I was nervous about that one, guys. I wasn't feeling it until kind of near the end. Yeah, definitely had a lot of fun with that one. Hope you guys were able to get that eye right, because that one with the head tilt is an unexpected challenge that I wasn't realizing how tough that would be. Okay, if you guys want to post your results, here are mine. And then I'll probably do a little reels on it later. What am I supposed to post today? Yeah, you know what? I'll try to have the reels out by tonight so you can kind of get an example of what a reels would look like for like a study. Just one example. Obviously, mine's not like the definitive way to do it, but just an example that you could do if you want to try adding some video content to your feeds. Okay, are they posted in the Discord here?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. I'm going to turn my Cintiq on. Let's see here. I'm going to open this. Okay. I'm going to turn this off. And that off. Okay.
There it is.
I'm going to move. So you don't need this anymore. Okay. So then, Josh, if you could kind of get them ready for me.
Oh, like pull up the next one?
So this is Felix.
It's hard because you're...
Oh, I guess, yeah,
there's
never
no way I
mind.
can-
Never mind. Yeah, I love some of the tonal shifts you're doing here. I would say then for you, yeah, maybe, or no, I'm not doing a critique really of these. Never mind. But I will say maybe try to learn, or like, not learn, that sounds elite, or not elitist, that sounds like I know better. But I would just, suggestion here, I would practice blending maybe a softer pencil to create a smoother shift from one tone to the next. But yeah, I do feel like you captured her look though. I totally forgot this isn't like a critique stream. This is more just like letting people show off. All right, next we have... Ooh.
Oscar.
Thank you.
I gave up, just lines, not adding anything.
You know what this low-key looks like at first glance? It looks like a Titanic poster.
Oh, actually.
I feel like Rose and Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that? Honestly, though, like, if you weren't drawing, like we were talking about, if you're not drawing, like, with a photo underneath, I think you capture the proportions very well. So good job. Yeah.
Up next is
Ooh,
food.
what the?
What is happening today?
What is happening? There we go. This is Fumi. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm going to have a different character for every single post here. To me, this is... who's Resident Evil 4 Leon?
Yeah.
This is who this one reminds me of.
Fumi says, I dream closer to my art style.
Yeah, actually, this reminds me of Leon from Resident Evil 4. And then... who's the bad guy in Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Sephiroth?
No, he's the president. I don't think... He's not the older guy. Rufus? He reminds me of Rufus. And then he also reminds me of the antagonist rival of Squall in Final Fantasy VIII. I forgot what his name is, but he's the one with the other sword with the slash on his face.
I've not played that one. I don't know.
This is great. Yeah, I hope you had fun with that. I like how you even then put him in like a different position. That's honestly one of the hardest things, is to have a character and to be able to draw them from a different position and have them look the same. And oh my gosh, why is this so big?
This one's from Oscar. Drew this without reference to practice side profile proportions.
That's also something that's good to do on one of these streams. We'll do that again sometime this year for sure. It's just like pure side reference shot and really trying to figure out proportions of how the ear lines up with the bottom of the nose and the eyebrow, and lining things up I think is a really important thing to learn. So good job.
Wishy.
Ooh. can definitely see a lot of your style coming through with the study. And I like that you're more bold with some of the darker values. And I can see within the mid-tone values, you're really good at letting it be a softer shift from one to the next without it being too harsh, but still distinct enough. So, yeah, this is great. I think maybe if I were to give just any suggestions, I think some of the facial features, like the eyes and the mouths, are a little bigger, but that could be more of a stylistic approach. So it could be that. So, but if you're going for pure realism, I think that would be my note. But honestly, if you're doing that in your style, I think it looks great.
Barbara.
Oh, Barbara. Man, that female one is phenomenal. Look how good that is. Love that. I think you really captured, too, how the skin sometimes can appear, like, radiant, like it's glowing. And I think you did a good job with that. Yeah, the guy, you know what? He reminds me of, like, a Bond villain or something. But you did a really good job. You're really good at tonal shifting. I know I say this all the time to you, but you're really good at it. And I can see you having more fun with the angular shapes in the male one, where the girl, I can see you having more fun with, like, the softness in the blending. So it's kind of a fun contrast between the two, but I could still tell they're both yours, which is nice. Next up, we have Bonzo. So I think here I could tell probably still figuring out proportions and how to create. Oh, there's two of them. Ooh. So I assume. Oh, that is so dark. Hold on. Yeah, I think for you it'd be just still working on those proportions, understanding. Can I turn that up? There we go. Like spatial recognition between certain facial features, because usually when I'm drawing, I'm looking how close is like this shape next to this one, how much space do I have in between the forehead and to where the hairline begins, and try to constantly compare and contrast, because even with his eyes, they're definitely too far forward and too much on the same plane, where if you look at the reference picture, one eye is completely underneath the other eye if you drew a line like straight across. So try to focus more on that for stuff, but good job for joining. Next one.
Scarlet. I'm not used to working so fast. I may try these longer and take my time developing the proportions. This didn't go well for me, but it's good practice.
What are you talking about? I think if you aren't used to working faster, I think these are good drawings to try to capture it, because I can definitely tell like these are the references from today. I think, yeah, if you were to work on it more, I think more focusing on proportions and then lining things up, because I do see you doing things like the eye is definitely underneath the other eye if you drew a straight line, but I think some of the other parts of the face are just a little shifted. So yeah, I think this is a good challenge for you if you don't normally work fast, because I think you can learn efficiency while still getting better at execution as well. So good job for joining in. Honestly, this is sometimes scary for people to submit, their work to be seen by a lot of people when they're not used to feeling comfortable in that arena. So good job for joining today. Thank you.
Actually, it reminds me a lot of the style that they used for the series of Unfortunate Events. Like covers. I don't know who the artist was that did it.
Oh, the Lemony Snicket books.
Yeah, I don't know who the artist was.
I actually don't know who the artist is.
Yeah.
Ooh, who's this one?
Ooh. This one is Felix. Okay, second one.
Oh, of course it's Felix. I kind of
effed up the lips and ran out of time for the hair again.
Oh, but no, I like it though. I can definitely tell. Yeah, where like you're making heavier mark making. There's moments where it feels really strong and you feel very confident in the movement, but then there's others where it just feels like a little hesitant. I would say if you just be as bold as you are with the areas that you're like really going for, I think you're a great artist. So I think just pushing for that level of certainty and like self-assurance while you're working, I think can really help your work. It's great though.
We have it says, I could only do one, but I tried my best.
Oh my gosh, this reminds me of what those older movie posters, like a James Dean era, where they were like painted posters. This looks like he would be like in the bottom right or bottom left corner or bottom.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, where they're like quicker, but it still like reads as the character. What's funny with your work, you're actually weirdly first. What did they say?
I can only do one, but I tried my best.
Okay. I actually think you're very confident in being like, okay, this is where I'm going to put a darker value. This is where a mid-tone value. This is where the light value is. And the way that you balance all three, I can still register the character very well. So this is great. It almost reminds me of that Take On Me music video too, with how confident the scratch lines in and like letting the scratch lines be visible. So that's kind of great. Man, there were a lot of people submitting today.
Right? No wonder chat was a little quiet. It's the second one specifically. Next up we have Winter.
Ooh. So I think this is great. I can definitely see you doing the red underlining, which is great, especially if you're learning proportions and trying to figure out lining up. I think just for lining things up, I would even take it a step further with, like I said, the eye. If you do a straight line right across the bottom of the left lid, you'll see that it's actually completely underneath. And I think the more you see that like spatial arranging, I think it'll just help you even more with perspective and, or not perspective, proportions. So great job. And yeah, I think using a color as an underdrawing is a really smart way to practice.
And looks like lastly, Carlos. Haven't tried to do this style in a while. Also, I don't use pencils usually. Made it at work and totally forgot that drawings have distortion if you don't work on them from a specific angle.
Yeah.
Tim experiences that with
all the time.
Yeah,
because the camera is right above the drawing, so I'm always looking at it from like a weird angle, so I have to constantly like look up at it. But yeah, you're probably experiencing the same thing I do from time to time, is like you have to like readjust. But honestly, the proportions are pretty close. And I think when it comes to shading, I think it still reads a little messy in areas. And I think just like really defining where you want areas of mid-tone and light tone and dark, and then you can start to blend a bit. But I think right now the cheek almost looks more like blush was added rather than it looking like a shadow. But overall, yeah, I think it's great that you're doing this from work. Hopefully you don't get in trouble, though.
Please don't get in trouble.
Please don't get in trouble. And I think that's all of the posted ones. There we go. Well, yeah, thank you guys so much, man. We had a lot of people doing it today.
Yeah, no, I love that.
I'm
happy you guys were in the voice chat too. Definitely keep doing that.
Yeah, honestly, that's a lot of fun. So yeah, one last look. These were my interpretations for today, and then like I said, I'll make a reels so you guys can see how to take your studies and then make content from it, because like I said earlier, you want to not have to change what you're doing every day as an artist, but if you just film it along the way, that way you can still get those social gains if you're looking for those. All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you, Josh, for moderating as always.
As always.
And hopefully we'll see you next week. And just remember, if you want to suggest something in our Discord, you might just see us do a study stream on it. So yeah, feel free to suggest something, and maybe you'll see it next week. All right, cool. Take care, everyone.
Good.
And